Hello, I am Rich Pawson, CMT. Let's have a supercycle discussion of interest rates. I'm showing corporate interest rates that go back to year 1800. I've had a variety of series that I've spliced together. Most recently, I believe it's the Moody A, triple small a rating, or interest rate I should say. And I'm showing 36-year cycles. And I'm also showing the larger cycle, not always more dominant, 72-year cycle. And interest rates are due for a 72-year cycle bottom near the end of this decade to early next. And when a cycle bottoms or tops, all smaller cycles that relate to it in a time series or cycle series analysis model will also top or bottom at the same time. So we will find a 9-year cycle bottom. So let's go back and look at some of this history. We can see we have a 36-year cycle, 36-year cycle that extended quite lengthy, and then another 36-year cycle that extended into World War II. The 72-year cycle is a little more difficult to see because it does break down into apparently the more dominant 30-year, 6-year cycle is a half cycle. We can see the 36-year cycle was not effective, did not work. And now rates are just trending in a minimum variation trend towards this 72-year cycle bottom. Now we can also see that Kondratiev or 54-year cycle highs have worked, and back in 1980 worked extremely well. Major surge into the top, minimum variation downtrend or bear market at interest rates ever since then. We can see there's 27-year cycles as a half cycle. But we can see two occurrences of actually being ineffective, not working well. And this one I can understand with basically what was manipulation of interest rates during World War II and even shortly after. Just my opinion, okay? So the bottom line is it looks like interest rates should not rally all that far in the next few years because we still have not put in a super cycle bottom. It still looks as though during the 2020s to 2030s we can have a super cycle bull market in interest rates. And in past years, I opined that interest rates would return back to the 1980 high or close to it or even higher. That's still feasible, but I think we've seen a shift of the mechanics. I almost want to call it a paradigm shift in the sense that creativity and productivity and activity for our economy, by our people, not only for the U.S. but around the world, is likely to limit how high interest rates can really go because we're going to limit how high inflation can go. And central banks are more experienced, more comfortable now of fighting inflation with higher rates, but they can start sooner. And so the net result is, it wouldn't surprise me over the next 20 or 30 years, rates won't go any higher than 5 to 8%, that we can spend many years in the 2 to 4% area for corporate rates, and Fed rates can be nearly 0 to a couple of percent for quite some time. And I think we need to dial that in. And what does that mean in terms of stock market, commodity markets, and macroeconomics? I'm Rich Pawson. Thank you.